Guess you wonder where I've been. I came back to let you know.
Hey you guys, what's up? It's your girl Cree. Welcome back to my channel. Happy Black History Month. In today's video, I am going to give you guys a quick but thorough review of the new YSL Libre Berry Crush. Okay, this was long anticipated and I can't wait to give you guys my thoughts. In addition to a review, I decided I'm going to go ahead and make this a slight comparison slash buying guide for you guys. I'm going to primarily focus on the fragrances that I actually have in my collection, which I do have quite a few Libres. I am a big fan of the YSL Libre line, so yeah, I am going to showcase those and give you guys my quick thoughts on all of those, so you'll get like a mini review of each of them. I'll also touch briefly on the ones that I do not have in my collection and why that is and how they compare as well. I can only give you what I know about them, but I'm not going to go too much in depth. But I wanted to make this video appropriate for those of you who not only are following me, but for those of you who are not. For those of you who are new to my channel, who may just come across this video and want to hear about YSL Libre Berry Crush as well as some of the other flankers, because if you're someone who doesn't watch YouTube and you're not really into fragrance content, you may not know anything about any of these. There are so many different flankers. You may not even know what a flanker is. So yeah, we can get into all of that, but I just wanted to make this video appropriate for those of you who already follow me. I know many of you have a big collection, a larger collection, maybe even bigger than mine. So, but I just want to talk to you guys about it and let you guys know what I think, my thoughts on the fragrance, and if I feel like you need it, if you haven't grabbed it already. Also wanting to give a little bit of insight for those of you who are just walking into a Sephora or Ulta and you're just overwhelmed and it's like, I don't know the differences between all of these. I'm going to give you that today. So hopefully this is a really good, informative, helpful video for those of you. If you guys like my vibe, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Lock in with your girl. I produce content regularly. Just a heads up, my son is here. If there are any disturbances from him, y'all forgive me, but you know how that goes. It's looking very bland in the background because you guys know I'm about to move. So yeah, I am just trying to knock out this video, make sure you guys have content while I'm away. Yeah, with no further ado, let's cut out the chit chat. Let's go ahead and get into this video. Guys, I am in front of natural lighting today, so I really hope that the lighting is okay. I have really been enjoying my videos with natural lighting, so I'm really hoping that it looks okay. You guys can let me know in the comments if it's off or not, what you prefer. Anytime I can get natural lighting, that's what I try to do. So we're gonna try to get at it today. Okay, so you guys, like I said before, I went ahead and picked up the new YSL Libre Berry Crush, and we're going to get into it. This fragrance was released, I believe, at the end of last year. However, I just got my hands on it. Now, I did not blind buy this fragrance. I have you know, I did go into the store and test it out. Beforehand, I tested it, I guess, back in January. So it's been a few weeks since then. I tested it and it left a lasting impression on me. I did enjoy it in the store, but I liked it even more when I left. And I just kept finding myself going back to that space to smell it. So yeah, I knew I would probably end up picking this up. There was a sale at Ulta on Valentine's Day where they had like $20 off a prestigious fragrance, and that was enough for me to want to go ahead and bite the bullet. I did go ahead and pick this up in a 1 ounce bottle, and yeah, I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts. However, we're going to go in chronological order, so I am going to save this for the end. I would love for you guys to stay and watch it through in its entirety, but if you can't, it's okay. Go ahead and skip to the end if that's just what you came for. But if you want to hear my review or my quick thoughts on all of the other fragrances that I have in my collection and where they stand in my ranking, I guess you could say, I'm not even going to rank them because I don't know that I can, but yeah, guys, then stay for this part as well. Okay, so we're going to start with the very first one and we're going to go through in the order that they all were released. Like I said, I'm going to talk about some of the ones that I don't have as well, but we'll make it brief. Okay, I am going to try to speed through this video as quick as I can because I don't know how long my son is going to leave me alone. I don't know if he's going to give me time to get through these the way I want to, so I'm just going to rapid fire, give you descriptions and move on forward so we can get into the main attraction, which is Libre Berry Couture. Okay, so first things first, we are going to start with the one that started it all. And just to give you guys a little bit of background about me, YSL Libre is one of my favorite designer fragrances. I am a fan of all of the Libres, essentially. So I really haven't met a Libre that I didn't like. There are some that I prefer over the others, but essentially I think it is a gorgeous line. I think it is a very prestigious fragrance, and it can be hit or miss. For a lot of people like it, and you know, with the love comes a lot of hate. A lot of people love the Libre line, and then there are people who can't stand it, and that's your prerogative. All in all, most of the Libres carry the same type of DNA, and that DNA is orange blossom, lavender, and vanilla. They all have some variation of that combo. Heavy on the lavender. Most of them have some type of mandarin or citrus presence, and most of them all have vanilla as well. So yeah, very first fragrance up. And you guys, I don't have crazy dents in these because I literally just repurchased 2 of these. Just purchased just about all of them because 2 of them were repurchased. Initially I only had 2, and I've since bought some of these newer fragrances. So just a heads up, I've had them and repurchased and bought bigger bottles. So yeah, this is YSL Libre. I bought at the end of last year as a repurchase. This is the EDP. This came out white. I do have some notes for you guys for today, just so I'm on point and I can speed through. YSL Libre, the original, was released in 2019, and I have the notes. I'm also going to read them off, and I will put them up in the video as well. This had the notes of lavender, mandarin orange, black currant, petitgrain, lavender, orange blossom, jasmine, Madagascar vanilla, musk, cedar, and ambergris. And this is the fresher, more citrus leaning version of the Libre profile. This is more of a cleaner, fresh, sort of like everyday take. Now, granted, I would not recommend you wear this for every day, but depending on what your profession is, I can see this as an everyday scent. Only because this gives me like boss vibes. This gives me chic, upscale, sophistication, no nonsense boss vibes. Okay, this is a boss lady. So if you are maybe like a high profile lawyer, I can see this as a signature scent. A CEO, I can see this as a signature scent. If you're an everyday girl and you're just going into the office, I don't see this as an everyday signature scent, but do you, boo? I wouldn't wear this on an everyday basis, but this is like definitely giving me more of a citrus, fresh, clean take on the Libre DNA. And I absolutely love this down. This is where it all started. You will find in any of the flankers that you get, you are essentially going to get this DNA. They all tweak it in some way. So you're going to get a variation. That's what a flanker is. It's some kind of a tweak or a variation of an original DNA. And this, in this case, is the original. This is the EDP, came out in 2019. It has the lighter juice. That's how you can differentiate between some of the others. And I'm going to tell you about the next one is also a lighter juice, but outside of those two, these are the ones that pretty much look that way. So yeah, that is YSL Libre, the EDP. I truly do enjoy this one. Oftentimes I layer it, but this is the only one that I have in the biggest bottle. Okay, this is a 3.4 ounce bottle, and it's going to last me an eternity because you don't need a lot. These last forever. Specifically this one, the EDP, lasts you all day, forever and a day, literally until you wash your clothes. It's going to be on there. So yeah, you get your bang for your buck. Love that one. Okay, yeah, that's YSL Libre, the EDP, the very first one of this line. I'm going to touch on this briefly. Next up in the line, they came out in 2020 with Libre Intense. And Libre Intense, I passed on. I actually used to own a travel size of it, but I don't have it anymore in my collection. I've since used it and got rid of it, and I decided to go with another one of the flankers instead. But Libre Intense, I'm going to give you the notes for that one as well. Just for your reference, this is very popular amongst many. I would say this is more nighttime appropriate, gives you more of a sexy vibe, sexier, I would say, more so than the original. In my opinion, this version, this particular version, intensifies everything. There's not too much of a difference in the note structure. The only thing that I see that may be different is the addition of tonka bean. So it has the same notes as the previous, except they have taken out the petitgrain, which leans more to the citruses, and they have added tonka bean in addition to the Madagascar vanilla and vetiver. So yeah, this is definitely just adding more vanilla. A lot of people feel like this has a heavier dose of vanilla. So if you are more into those vanilla scents, you want something a little more smoother. Some people see the original as being a little screechy. Like I said, it's heavy on the citruses. If you're not into those, you'll want to skip that first one. If you're more into the vanillas, maybe you want to check out the Intense, but just know it is intense in every way. So that lavender is intense. notes. Everything in there is just amplified. So just keep that in mind. I skipped on that one because I got one of the other flankers, and we'll get to that after this next one. The next one that was released was in 2021, and they came out with the EDT version of the original. So again, this is going to have that same similar profile. The EDT is literally just a lighter scent, and again, I'm going to put those notes up there. I didn't take it down because I don't have it. I've never owned that one, but I have smelt it in store. Essentially, it, like I said, it still has that DNA of the original. It is just a lighter profile. That's what an EDT is. It's the eau de toilette. It's not as strong or as concentrated as an EDP or a Parfum. Okay, so maybe if you don't like a heavy beast mode fragrance, but you do like the Libre line, maybe give that one a try. All right, so then we're going to go down into 2022 when they released one of my absolute favorites, and I think this may be one of the favorites, if not the favorite of most people, and this was the one they released in. This is Libre Parfum. Okay, this one, in my opinion, went in a new direction. I feel like this one is uber sexy, okay, even more so than the Intense, in my opinion. This is more of a spicy twist on the Libre DNA. Let me give you guys the notes. They have ginger and saffron, mandarin orange, which is typical for the Libre DNA, bergamot, orange blossom, and lavender, bourbon vanilla, honey, tonka bean, and vetiver. So those standouts in this fragrance that are a little bit different are the tweaks in the mid and at the top, and that is with the opening of ginger, giving a little bit of a spicy kick, something a little more interesting. And they've also added saffron, which gave it, just added a touch of something different completely that we haven't seen before. And then they added the honey, and that honey just really does. And the dry down on this one, y'all, this is the sexier, spicier version. Okay, this is for someone who wanted something deeper, sexier, richer, more interesting, something a little bit more than just the vanilla of the Intense. And this is the one that I got instead of ever picking up the Intense. I do find them to be a little similar, but the saffron, the honey, the ginger, they made all the difference to me. And in the dry down, I just find it a lot more interesting, so I went with that one. It is just the one that I'll pull for in the cold weather, in the winter months. If I had to pick a season for this, it would be the fall and winter. As for the OG, I would say that would be for spring and summer. Same goes for EDT. I oftentimes will layer this one and the OG. It doesn't matter what time of the year. I just like to layer those two. Something about the fresh citrus notes of the original with the super sweet honey and vanilla tonka bean combos. I just think it kind of cuts it up so it's not too sweet for me, but it still gives me a freshness. I love pairing those two together. That's the EDP and the Le Parfum. But yes, the Le Parfum, I'm sorry guys, I didn't even show you. This is the Le Parfum. I just repurchased it again with the EDP because I emptied them last year and I upgraded it to a 1.7 ounce. This one is, and you'll see that this has the darkest juice out of them all. Even when you get the Intense, if you see the Intense, this one has a darker juice, and of course this is the EDP, so you'll definitely know the difference, but pay attention to the names. This will be EDP and this will be Le Parfum. But for me, that one is the one that's the most interesting out of this line, in my opinion, still to this day. They have since released a few more. They have in 2024, they came out with YSL Libre Flowers and Flames. I never picked this up, but they added a note of coconut as well as I think palm leaf. So this is like more of a tropical leaning version. If you're someone who maybe lives in Florida or lives in the tropics, lives somewhere that stays warmer more of the time, maybe you will be interested in this if you really like those coconut notes. I'm not really a coconut girly, so I definitely skipped this. I have smelled it. It reminds me a lot of the original. I feel like you could layer to get something similar, whereas the Le Parfum, no, I don't think you could layer to get that. I think it's definitely its own thing, but it definitely still holds on to that original Libre DNA, but it transforms it. Okay. In 2023, they came out with another flanker, and this one had us all in the chokehold because of the bottle is gorgeous and it was different, and the notes are seemingly different. In 2023, they came out with this one. This is YSL Libre's Absolute Platine, and as you can see, this is gorgeous, guys. Yeah, so currently I have this in my collection. This was one that I picked up last year, but it did come out in 2023, and this has the notes of aldehydes, bergamot, mandarin orange, lavender, blue lavender or diva lavender, orange blossom, vanilla, and amber. In my opinion, this is more of a clean, soapy, aromatic version. So you definitely still get the original Libre DNA. That's never far away in any of these flankers. But because this has the aldehydes, which give it more of a clean, like powdery, fresh version, I would say this is more unisex leaning. I could be someone who's just not into just straight up pretty girl scents for the Libre DNA in general. You have to like lavender, in which this has a double dose of it. Like I said, it has the original lavender and it has that diva lavender in there. So yeah, this is lavender prominent. This is one you would want to test if you can. I absolutely love this bottle. I actually was trying to sell mine actually as of recent, but I may just keep it just because it's like it does something for my collection, and I just think it is so gorgeous. And maybe when I get a partner, maybe he'll want to wear it, because I definitely think this is one of the ones that's completely unisex and your partner could wear this as well as you. But this is very strong. I do find that the lavender is a bit screechy in here. This is very reminiscent of the original, but the aldehydes is what takes it in a new direction. Okay, definitely a departure from the rest of the line, because it has that clean soapy type of feel, almost powdery like. So yeah, that is YSL La Absolute Platine. Okay, 2025 they had 3 different releases, so I don't know what happened from 2019 to 2025, but in 2025 they had time today, I guess, and they decided to release 3 different releases, at least per Fragrantica. That's what it says. So in 2025 they came out with first Libre L'Eau New, and I do remember when this came out. This is the one that's in the white bottle. I'll put up a picture for you guys. A similar DNA to the OG. Again, this is just a lighter profile, I believe. So I don't believe it's going to be as intense or as screechy as some may feel the original is. This one, if I am not mistaken, is alcohol free. So if that interests you, then you'll want to look into that one. Also in 2025, they also came out with this beauty here that we all went crazy for, all of us Libre lovers, that is. You guys, this is YSL Libre Vanille Couture. Okay, they came out with this at the end of last year. Here's my dent, and here is the juice. This bottle, it looks like it is gold plated on the back and in the front, so that is how you can tell the difference. With that other one, you know, it was chrome. This one is, in my opinion, the one for the vanilla lovers. If you are someone who really loves vanilla, if you like the intense, if you lean closer to the intense version and you love the vanilla in there, you'll probably absolutely love this one, because this one is like similar to that, but there's more vanilla, even deeper, even smoother, even richer, in my opinion. I'm going to give you guys the notes. Okay, this has the notes of bourbon vanilla, orange blossom, BR, lavender, and rum. Okay, so it's a more simplified structure of the DNA, but yeah, so honestly for me, I don't really pick up the rum. I think in this situation the rum blends in very well with the vanilla, and maybe that's what gives me like that really deep, sweet, beautiful vanilla in the dry down. I still feel like the lavender in this is a tad bit screechy, very similar to the OG, but in the dry down, as it sits on your skin, the vanilla does intensify, and it is beautiful. So if that piques your interest, then maybe this is one that you would like, which is again another reason why I've never picked up the intense, because I just don't see the reason for it. This was in fact limited edition, so I don't know if you can get it right now, but I have heard rumors that this will be coming back as a permanent, so we shall see. But that is YSL Vanille Couture, and that came out in 2025. And now the one that you came for, this is the main attraction of the evening, and this is YSL Libre's newest flanker, Berry Crush. Okay, so I do have the notes for you guys. This gives me spring and summer vibes. Okay, also Vanille Couture I would wear, you know, whenever, but fall and winter obviously would be good. Raspberry in the opening, mandarin orange blossom, lavender, bourbon vanilla, musk, and coconut. Now, I will tell you guys, I have this one on. I have it over here. I have the original over here. I've been wearing them all day today. I've had this now for about a week. And I'm going to give a fresh spray here. Just give it a second to dry down. Right off the bat, guys, I pick up the raspberry. I have seen other reviews on this. I've heard other people's thoughts. Right off the bat, just for me, when it opens up, I get the raspberry. It's like raspberry puree. I get it through and through. To me, this is not a natural raspberry or organic. This is definitely giving synthetic. Just saying, it just smells like what people would put into fragrances to mimic raspberry. It doesn't smell organic. It definitely smells artificial, and that's fine. I'm not mad at it. Obviously, I bought it. But you guys, I really like this. Pleasantly surprised. It is a sweet, like fruity floral take on the Libre DNA, which I don't feel we've had in the past outside of the coconut fragrance that they've had. So I actually really like it. Like I said, I tried this in store first and it stuck with me. And I'm happy to say that it actually smells on my skin the same way it smells on the tester for me. Besides that, as this fragrance dries down, you do pick up that original Libre DNA. But to me, this fragrance doesn't really change. What I get in the opening is the same thing that I get in the dry down. It just smells like a very pretty, sweet, fruity Libre. I get the raspberry through my whole wearing experience, and I actually wore this last night to bed. So this is not an annoying version. This isn't a version that gives me a headache or I feel like is headache inducing. Not for me. Again, if you are sensitive to the Libre DNA and the profile of Libre in general gives you a headache, I wouldn't recommend this. I wouldn't recommend any of them, because if it's not for you, why stress it? You know, don't force the issue. But I happen to be a lover of the DNA, so I definitely wanted to get my hands on it and I wanted to try it, especially because I was trying to get rid of one of mine. So this was just going to fit in my collection. It is something that I don't have. Could you layer and get something like this? Maybe. I'm not saying that you couldn't, but I like how they did this. I really like how it's blended enough that I bought it. Y'all know I'm good for a layering combo instead, but I also don't have a whole lot of raspberry fragrances, so I was excited to get my hands on this. I felt that the lasting power on this one was really good. I was able to smell this in the morning. It wasn't like beast mode or anything, but I could still smell this in the morning on my clothes and on my skin. It does not compare in a sense of this versus the OG. The OG is going to win every time. You guys know the OG is beast mode. If you don't know, it is beast mode. To me, this performs well. It's not as well as the OG, but it still performs well. It definitely will probably outperform most other designer scents, because the Libre DNA is just, it hits different. If you know, you know. I'm not mad at it. Like, I'm not mad at it at all. I think this was a nice addition to the line. Yeah, I quite like it. So I did add it. I just got the 1 ounce bottle. I think that's pretty much all I need. Now, I will say, if I hadn't have gotten Libre Vanille Couture in the bottle that I got it in, I would have got this in a 1.7, but since I have that in a 1.7 because they didn't offer it in a smaller bottle, I got this in a 1 ounce because I just don't want too much. But I think this will be perfect for someone coming up in the spring and summertime. I think this will be a good lead to go to if you're not into the citrus of the OG, or if you're not into coconut, which, speaking of coconut, let me get to that. I know that they have coconut listed in this DNA, but honest to God, I'm not a coconut fan and I don't pick it up in here. So if that's something that you were worried about or that was deterring you, don't. Do I feel like this is redundant? No, I actually don't. I think it gives what it says it's going to give outside of the coconut. You get a fruity version of Libre. If that interests you, then yes. Am I over the flankers? Yes and no. It kind of just depends. Like I said, I love the line, so it doesn't really bother me. I don't find it redundant. I don't find that when this dries down, I only get Libre. I don't feel that way. I actually detect the sweetness and I smell it all the way through my wearing experience, so I'm not mad at it. I think this is a good version for someone who, first of all, this definitely caters to a younger demographic. I think it's making Libre even more crowd pleasing, because the original is not, I mean, it's a crowd pleaser, but a lot of people are off put by the lavender. This tones down the lavender. I don't find this lavender in here screechy at all. It's very smooth. Yeah, it's very approachable. This is one that a younger girl would probably like. older too. I'm just saying, for some of you who may feel like the other leaves are more of a mature scent, this will be more approachable, and maybe that's what they were going for. I think this is their way. All of the flankers for all of the lines that are coming out with them, I think they are just trying to go after a DNA that already has proven to work and sell, but they are trying to market it to a wider audience. So for those who want something different and they haven't found their one, they're trying for you. They're trying to gain your dollar. You know, they're trying to gain someone else who hasn't found the lead that they want. So I'm not mad at it. If I didn't want it, I just would skip it. You know, I do get the argument about the flankers and all, and it kind of can get redundant, but you don't have to buy it, you know. And if you didn't buy it, they wouldn't keep doing it. So, I mean, it's just kind of, it is what it is. My thoughts on YSL Libre Berry Crush. I actually really enjoy it, and I'm happy to have it. It smells like crushed raspberries, like literally like a puree of raspberries mixed in with the DNA. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but the juice is kind of like a berry or reddish color. So that is how you can tell the difference. But again, you have to pay attention to those names when you see it in the store, so you make sure you get the right one. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I touched on everything. If you have any questions or anything that I left out, please leave those questions down below. Have you guys tried this out? How do you feel about it? I actually think that Libre Berry Crush would be appropriate for someone who probably doesn't love the Libre line because of the lavender. You may like that, because I do feel like it is toned down in there, similar to how it's toned down in the Le Parfum. For someone who's a fruity floral lover, you may like it. If you don't like the Libre line at all, I don't recommend any of them. I mean, at the end of the day, the DNA is there, and in my opinion, the DNA is in all of them. So if you don't like it, I just would stop at the door. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button for your girl, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Until next time, make sure you always look good and smell good, and sis, make sure you do it on a budget. Till next time.